so much for talking to the Rock Pit today, Ben. How are you?
Hey, good. Let me
Good.
fix up there.
It's
There
uh,
we
it's
go.
been it's been a while. I was thinking of the first time that I saw you guys down under, and I think it was probably the Corner Hotel way
Oh
back
wow.
way back
That was
in
probably our first
yeah
time there.
yeah I think so yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course a regular at the Sound Waves
Right.
after
I
that.
can't help but see the Ozzy picture behind you
Yeah, it's
and
good times.
yeah, it's kind of unbelievable.
It is. It was one of those guys, I guess, like Lemmy, that you thought was always going to be there.
Yeah. That was really tough, man, because it felt like he was in the news so much
Yeah,
with all those final shows and everything.
yeah. Well, yeah. Let's hope these won't be your final shows anyway. So it's
We'll
fantastic to see you coming over to Australia. It sort of fills in a gap for me because I obviously never saw you with Dimitri. So
Mhm.
it's kind of exciting that you're going to be coming over and doing what you're doing. Was it
Glad to hear
hard to do
that.
that? How did it all come about?
So it was kind of like a little piece by piece thing. Obviously, me and Dimitri have been friends for years. We've been best friends ever since the early days. And he's always been kind of a part of the band in one way, shape, or form, contributing, even though he hadn't been like performing with the band for many years. And then in 2024, someone approached us about doing a reunion with Dimitri, doing Calculating Infinity for their festival. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
That's definitely something I feel like we haven't really closed the door on properly in a way or something. And so I talked to our agent. I said, somebody brought up the idea of doing a Calculating Infinity song with Dimitri, and he's like, well, that's a little too soon. You could never probably be ready for that. And you're right. And I was like, yeah, yeah, we would never be. I don't even know, haven't even talked to anyone about it. I don't even know who wants to do it or anything in the band or anything. And then he goes, next year, 2025 is the 25th anniversary of Calculating Infinity. So if we're gonna do it, that's the time to do it. And I said, huh, well, that would give us some time, a little bit, a few more months to
yeah,
get it around, wrap our heads around it. And we just all talked about it and decided it would be cool to do it.
yeah. It's great. It's a fantastic idea. It came out of the blue for me. I was like, you always hope when anniversaries come up that something's going to happen, but it rarely does. So it's fantastic that you've done that. One of the best
Thank you.
live bands I've ever seen, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Thank you. Yeah, that's I'm sure you've seen a few, so
I have seen
good
a
to
few,
hear
yes. So it's a big thing for me to say that, but it's true. There's just so much energy on stage, and it must have been great getting back to play the festivals this year.
yeah, it does. In many ways, it's a very interesting thing because it's been so many years since we've played.
Yeah,
It's been an extreme amount of years since we played with Dimitri,
yeah,
and we've never played that album in its entirety before. So in many ways, it really feels like those early days when we first came out and we had no idea what to expect. We had no idea what people would think or, yeah. And most of the people who got into this band after he left the band. So
yeah,
it's an interesting combination of people who were like there during that time and that album means something to them in that time period in their life. A whole bunch of people who never had a chance to see us during that time and are kind of interested to see how this band started. And then a whole bunch of other people who are staring at us like we're aliens, which is which is typically what happens when we play these festivals.
yeah. So what, like, take us back to the recording of the album. You'd had a couple of EPs. I think I'd heard those
Mhm.
at the time, but wasn't expecting anything quite like the album. It was just so different. And I've heard over the years, I've heard it called so many things from hardcore to mathcore to this, that, and the other. But
To the
to
worst
me,
sounding album anyone's ever
to
to
me,
all kinds of things
it
ever.
was just like an explosion. It was like noise. It was cinematic. It was all kinds of things. It was just so many great ideas going on. I think all at the same time. How do you look back on it now, Ben?
Uh, well, for one, I can't believe how young I was. Um, and I'm kind of proud of how ambitious I was at that age now when I look back, because it's hard for me to think of like any like 21-year-old now
Mm.
putting out an album that ambitious, like without a computer and Pro Tools and cut and paste and drum kit from hell and amp simulators and so like doing an album like that to tape with this little time as he had to get it done. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. I and the fact that when I tried to play these songs again, it was very difficult. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I don't even understand. What was I thinking? You know what I mean? Type of thing. Um, but it's I described it once as like a past marriage, a past relationship, and we had this child that was calculating infinity, and we were young and we were stupid, and we didn't know what to expect, and we were in over our head, and we created something that was more complex and than young parents like us even knew what to do with, I think. But now it's all grown up and has moved out to college and started its own life and has come back home, and now we can kind of like hang out with it as an adult and apologize for all our mistakes that we made when we were young parents and try and like, hang out together as peers and like go out there and kick some ass together now in a different place.
Sounds great. It sounds really cool. I mean, it is an album that's stood the test of time, I think, as well. It's one that people I can play to people today, and they might not get it, but
No, yeah.
they see that there's something there that sort of like important and complex, whether it's the
Well,
lyrics
thank you. We
themselves.
we yeah, well, I was gonna say that we toured on that album for about 5 years before
Yeah,
we even attempted to release another album. So like they're definitely we definitely felt that it we needed to to really get it in front of as many people as possible and see who really was into it and got it and was interested in diving in with us before we moved on and made new music. So we lived with that album a very long time. And again, there was a large majority of people who didn't get it, but the ones that did really were special and really did the work to kind of take the time and did the work to be able to enjoy something as abrasive as that.
yeah, yeah. And you've got a new album out, live album, Live Infinity, which sort of is from, I guess, those early years. I think it was
Hmm.
in 2000. So,
Yeah, I think it was recorded. We were on tour with the Misfits
mm, sounds great.
with Michael Graves, and we those were recorded on that tour.
Yeah. So hopefully you're bringing some of those over for us, so we can, when we file into Metro Frio, the first day of the tour on August the 10th. It's great that you're coming to
That's
Perth
right.
first. We can snap
By
up.
the way, August 8th, the day I leave, will be my 50th birthday party. So I'm going to be coming to celebrate with you guys.
We'll bring some cake for you.
Please. That's that's my vote. I love me some cake.
Yeah, it's pretty wet and windy weather here as well, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a change for you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been over there in your winter time, so it'll be
No, it's
interesting.
always been blazing hot when I've seen you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
all the sound waves and everything, obviously really hot, but I think
Yeah.
we're having one of the wettest winters we've ever had in Perth at the minute. So
All right. Well, I'll be
one
be
of the things
interesting
I
change of pace.
yeah, it will. One of the things I always like to do is find out those defining moments for musicians. When
Hmm.
thinking all the way back, when did you know that like it was going to be more than I guess just a pastime for you? When did you know
Mm.
that music was going to be a serious part of your life? For some people, it's
Yeah.
singing something or just a gradual realization. What was it for
It,
you?
it it really was a gradual realization because When we were in high school, we were just creating bands that sounded like the bands we liked or that we thought
Yeah,
people wanted to hear, and it didn't work. I guess it wasn't authentic, and it really wasn't anything special. And it was really difficult to get anyone to care. And at that time, you just kind of think that some big record producers should be jogging by your house and hear you and be like, "Wow, these guys got something," and sign you up and make you a giant stars or something or like that. We didn't know anybody in the industry. We didn't know any big bands or anybody who had like a record label or anything like that. We were just kids playing around in our basements and trying to play local things and carnivals and stuff.
yeah,
And we just couldn't get it going, and we just gave up. Really, we gave up. I went to school. I started going to school for psychology. Some of the other guys started doing some other things. Our drummer went to Berklee School of Music out in Boston to study synthesis, actually.
yeah,
And we started Dillinger without any intention of anyone liking it, without any intention of it working, without any intention of like breaking or hitting a certain market. We like that music was purely made for ourselves. In fact, we didn't even have a name for the band, nor did we care
yeah,
until somebody put us on a show and they demanded we give them a name for the flyer because we really had no intentions or thoughts that anyone really would care or like it. It was purely making the CD that didn't exist on our shelves that we knew would stimulate us, that we wanted to hear. And as we and I was working a corporate job, I remember. And it was almost like Fight Club. Like I'd go to play shows and we'd play some crazy basement. And I'd come to work with a black eye, and they'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I'm nothing. I'm in my cubicle," like. And eventually things started kept rolling and rolling. And like I remember we were actually going to play in Japan on a festival, which ended up being Pantera's last show before they broke
yeah,
up. We were on a festival with Pantera in Japan, in Tokyo, and I had to tell my boss once again, I got to take off work. And he's like, "What are you doing? Like, quit. Go do this. You're in Japan. You're going to Japan to play with your band. Why are you working here?" And I was just kind of like, "Oh, I guess it's kind of working." I mean, I guess so. So we really just all, even though we weren't making much money and it was really difficult to make things happen. We knew that we had opportunities that we never dreamt we would ever have and that we had to go full force. So around that point, we all quit our jobs, broke up with our girlfriends, and just like got in a van and played everywhere we could, anywhere so anyone would have us, and until things gradually, very slowly progressed.
yeah. And we all fell in love with you down under the music that, yeah, you're right. It's a great way of describing it. It's that CD that didn't exist in the collection. And it's still like that for us. So I've been
Oh,
playing you all week knowing that we were going to have this little chat today. So
oh man.
it'd be great to see
Well, I have
you.
to say, just really like, by the time we had come to Australia, we'd played all over Europe. Like I said, we'd played in Japan, um, but we heard about Australia being a market. I hate that word, a market, but like a market that like really cherished underground music, and where bands like Mr. Bungle were like pop top radio and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like we were really fascinated by the fact that you guys obviously had really interesting eclectic taste and that you were very loyal to the music you guys loved. It wasn't just limited to like what's on the radio or pop music. And when we came there, it was absolutely true. We found that the music fans were really eclectic, loved all kinds of interesting music, and stayed very loyal to that music for a very long time.
yeah. It's we're like that. So
Yeah,
it's
it was really refreshing.
you're going to get asked all kinds of questions. And I guess everyone's going to be asking you stuff about like new music and things like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, we don't it's that's a tough one because in 2017 that was 20 years of the band.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it felt like a real climactic end that made sense.
It was a great record to go out with as well. I mean,
Well, thank you. I mean, it was a difficult record to make. There was a lot of turmoil in the band, disagreeing about direction and whether it was right or whether it was done or whether it was. And finally getting it out felt really good, and playing those last shows felt really good. Nothing felt forced, nothing. I didn't leave those shows with anything on the table unsaid. I
Yeah.
didn't leave those shows feeling like there was something I didn't do or something I needed to do with this band. And honestly, until this calculating Dimitri thing came up, I never thought I'd even give it a second thought. But that just felt so interesting to me to try that. But we do have like there were some demos laying around of stuff we never released. There's a possibility we'll polish something up and put it out there just because there's this new interest and we're having a great time. But at this moment, there's no plans for
Well,
making new music.
if it happens, it'll be a wonderful bonus. I mean, this tour's enough for me. I didn't expect this, so
Ah,
it's
thank you.
fantastic. Just a couple of quick questions that we ask everyone. If
Yeah,
we close with
sure.
that, the first one is: if you could have been a fly on the wall, any point in the history of rock and roll, to see an album being created in the studio, what would you love to have seen?
Oh, that's a really good question. God, there's so many.
There are.
If you asked me at different times, I would say something different.
Just maybe one that has always intrigued you or it's always been there for you.
I mean, I would have loved to sit in on a Mahavishnu orchestra session with John McLaughlin and like
Yeah.
those amazing players who were like basically they were in a room playing live, with violins playing mimicking every solo, guitar solo, like note for note, and drummers improving and putting it to tape and release. Like that blows my mind. Like some of those albums and the fact that they were just recording them like live. They weren't punching and cutting and pasting or anything. They were in a room. And those are really complex, interesting albums.
Yeah. That that would have been incredible, I think. And
Yeah.
I've seen John live a few times and he's been absolutely mind blowing to be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean, that if I had, I mean, that would probably be one of those early Mahavishnu albums I would have loved to just watch the process
Yeah.
of something like that.
And we'll leave you with an even easier question. What
Okay.
is the meaning of life?
Well, there's that John Lennon thing. What do you want to be when you grow up? And he said happy, right?
Yeah.
And the teacher said, I don't think you understand the question. He goes, I don't think you understand the meaning of life, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Um, the meaning of life. It's a real philosophical question because the question is, dependent on do we feel that there will be anything left of us? Is there anything after life? Ultimately, there will be a time when none of us exist and nothing we do would have mattered, and there will be nobody on earth to care. Everything we created and everything we've done will be obliterated at some point, and it will mean nothing to anyone here at all. And so, can we know that to be a fact and still feel meaning while we're here on this earth, right? And that's a tough one because it changes every day. When I see my kids and
Yeah.
I see I think for me, the meaning of life is living the life that you can, learning as much as you can, and then becoming the person that you would want to be described as at your eulogy. That's the meaning of life to me. So whatever you feel, you can't be there. So whatever you feel you would want to hear everybody say about you, that's what you have to do in your life. Do
That's
that
good.
now. And that's it. You can't control anything else. The type of person you want people to remember you as, while there is a place here and while there are people to remember you, you have to be that person now. You're not gonna be there to hear what they say. You just gotta live it. So that to me is the meaning.
I've been asking that question for 16 years now, and that's one of my favorite answers. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thanks. What's another favorite?
David Coverdale said, "Wine, women, and song."
That's a good
The
one too.
the complete opposite of what you
Oh,
just
I
said.
love David Coverdale, so I won't hate on that.
Take care, my friend. Have a safe trip, and we'll see you
Thank
in
you. Thank you so
Fremantle
much.
on the 10th. Thanks, Ben.
Appreciate it. See
Bye.
you then. Bye bye.